Hi, this is John Lockwood for John Next Door, and this video tutorial is all about using and making the slide card. So if we show here, this is the slide card, and the idea is you have a hidden message behind the window. So when you look at it originally, you can see you've got the beautiful butterflies in there, but when you open your card, your little message pops into scene. I'm going to bring another one up here. This is actually using the new Blossom die and stamp as well. But you can see there you've got a message, but when you open it, the message changes to a happy birthday. So this is the slide card. I'm going to show you the die. So it's all made using the slide card die, which is this one here. Now in the slide card die set, you get the 2 pieces you need to make you the base. You get 3 hexagons, which are nesting, and you get 2 nesting circles. Those are to get you started. You can use other dies that you've got to make different size and different shape apertures in there. Whatever you've got at home, it matches with loads of different brands. The other thing you've got in there is this piece here, which is a positioner. And this will come into its own when we actually start making the card. So that's your die. What I'm going to do is move on to the pieces now, because you don't want to see me cut absolutely everything. And so you're going to cut the 2 largest dies to start with, and they will give you these 2 pieces here. So you have a piece with a little flap on it, and it has a fold line, so you want to make sure you just fold that. I fold it in both directions as it helps. Okay, and then you have this card here, which again has a fold line at the back, but has a longer front and a shorter section that moves in. And it has this little piece here that folds over. Now this is designed so that this piece slots in. If you can see there, this slots in exactly. And then this piece can move over to protect it and keep it sealed. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue it together to start with. So I'm using a tape runner. I'm using a tape runner for speed for the video. I would suggest when you're making these at home that you use a wet glue ideally. If you do like to use tape, use a red line tape, as this has got moving parts and you don't want it to fall apart. All I'm going to do is just seal that piece down. There we go. You can see there I've got my front, and you've got your little piece that actually slides in, so you can see how that works. Okay, so that's what we need to do first. Then we want an aperture on here, so I'm going to use the apertures that I've got in the set. As I said, you can use any that you want, but this is where your positioner piece comes in. So you're going to place the positioner piece on the right hand edge against the top and against the side, and I just tape it down to my work desk just so that I've got it in place. I'm going to take the smallest of the hexagon dies, and I'm going to push it against that position and that position. You see there? That means that I've got it in exactly the place that I want it to be. So I'm just going to tape that down so it doesn't move, remove my positioner and put a little bit of extra tape on, and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. So all I'm going to do, and I'm using, because it's a simple shape, I'm using 300 GSM card. I've no concerns about it cutting through 2 layers. But what I am doing, I'm adding a piece of paper on top so that the marks from my plates don't actually mark my card on the front. So always a good tip, if you're concerned about how your plates are, if you're concerned that they are a little bit messy, if you add a piece of thin paper, I'm using an 80 GSM paper there, like a photocopy paper, it helps to stop any marks transferring on, which is always good when you're using white. So we'll just wait for that to come through, which is never the quickest thing in the world. Okay, here we go. And you can see there, so take this off. I've kept the front nice and clean, and I can just easily pop out. There we go. The hexagons, so I've got 2 pieces that have cut, and they've cut nice and cleanly from both pieces of card, so it works really, really well. What I now need to do is I need to cut a hexagon in this space here. Now you would think that you could drop that in and cut through, and it won't, because you're going through too many layers. So this is where your positioner comes into its own. What we're going to do is we're going to open this out, we're going to fold back this slip, as we don't want that to cut. So you can see there, I've got that folded back. I'm then going to take my stamp positioner and I'm going to put it in exactly the same place on this piece. So again, buttered up to the right hand corner. Obviously you could make it in the bottom left if you want. Depends on what you're using, and this again will work with any die. Tape that down. Lets me take the same die as I used for that aperture, and again place it against the edge and against the top. Tape it down. I can then remove that and cut it. Something you may notice I've got on my positioner, two little marks here. When I'm using a wider shape, I may want it closer to the top. So I've made some equidistant marks so that I can actually place it in a different position. So you can do that yourself just by scoring into the metal. So we'll take that away. And again, I'm going to run that through my machine. So pop it on, making sure that flap is folded down. Pop my piece of paper on top so that it doesn't get marked. Top plate on, and we run that through. Now, while that's running through, I want to explain about the back. What we do for the back, we cut another one of this die, which is this die here. I've got mine taped together. There we go. This die here to cut us this piece, and we simply cut along these two straight lines to give us a piece for the back like this. Alternatively, you can actually measure that and cut that out using a guillotine or paper trimmer if you don't want to waste as much card. To be honest, that's what I do. So we're going to take this out now, have a look at our piece. It's the last of our die cutting done, so we'll move that away. I'm going to take this one off, and if you can see now, you see there, I've got that in exactly the same place. So I have the aperture in 1, 2 and 3 pieces exactly lining up on both sides, which makes it a lot easier. So now I've obviously got that. I've got my little slide piece to slide in, but I don't have a back to the card. So what we need to do, you need to adhere your back piece, but you need to make sure you put it onto this piece here, this edge. So it only needs to be stuck on that edge there so that it slides in. And what I'd suggest is you just hold it in place, even tape it in place to make sure it works before you do any gluing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little edge of tape down that edge, and again I would suggest that you use a wet glue on that edge. Make sure it's working, and then attach the card to there. There we go. And then you can see when we open it, it slides in. Now the only other thing is, this is very loose. So what I do, I'll open the card back up and I add a little bit of glue here. So this is the front, so that that piece, that little front panel there, is fixed. You can see there, that's now fixed. So this piece slides in and we have your basic opening and closing slide card. Okay, all we need to do then is decorate it. I'm going to just put the sentiments in on this occasion, just so you can see what I mean about the difference and how it works. So I'll bring in my press to impress. I'm just going to, first of all, pop my card in, and I'm going to do the back sentiment, so the hidden, sorry, I'll say that again because I got that completely wrong. This will actually show you the first sentiment that you will see through because the card is closed. And I'm going to use the John Next Door loving sentiments, which are here. And you see in here, you've got the set of little poems, but you've also got the with love, happy birthday and best wishes, which allows you to do 2 different messages when it's going through. So I'm going to choose one of the poems, and I'm going to go with this one, which is loved you then, love you still, always have and always will. Now I'm going to use one of the acetate positioners to first of all make sure I get this straight. Actually, that is a little large, so we'll go with, that's why the positioners work so well. May all your dreams and wishes come true. So I'm going to make sure by putting it on one of the lines that it's straight. I then close my lid, pick up my stamp, it's in the right place. I'm going to ink this and stamp. Give it another stamp. There we go. So I've got may all your dreams and wishes come true. I'm then going to open the card, which then reveals the second area. Now I need to move this. So I'm just going to rotate that round. And this time I think I'm going to put in happy birthday. So again, pop my positioner in. Make sure it's nice and central, that it's straight. Close my lid. Ink the stamp. And again, I'm using smoky grey, so to make it nice and dark, I'm going to give it 2 impressions. That's what I love about a stamp press. And then I've got happy birthday. So we can see there I've got happy birthday, but when the card's closed, I've got may all your dreams and wishes come true. So may all the dreams and wishes come true, happy birthday. And you can alter that with different pictures, as we did in one of the originals here. You can see that you've got the little message, but the first one has the picture of the flying butterfly. There's lots of different options you can do this for. For more inspiration, hints and tips, please visit the John Next Door Facebook page, or why not join Crafting with John Next Door on Facebook, which is a community of people who all enjoy using John Next Door and other products and crafting and sharing their hints and tips and ideas. But for now, enjoy.